Well, it's so big very often as people begin with us or with anyone. And often we say, start with something easier. Because when you take your most crucial issue and you begin trying to apply vibrational work, it's not the easiest thing because there is already so much momentum that has created so much for you to observe. But we have something here that will make it easier for you, for all of you, no matter what the subject of your disallowance is. We've been talking about the art of allowing. But just for a little while, and you can teach this to your husband easily, talk about the path of least resistance rather than the path of most allowance, because it's the same thing. It's just saying it in two different ways. The less resistance there is, the more allowance there is. And sometimes talking about the path of least resistance or path of less resistance is a little more hands-on. It's easier to get your thoughts around it. So, for example, let's say that you are on your way to the hospital, and you know that your husband is really counting on you being there. You know he's sort of lonely, and you make him feel better when you are there. And even though you don't want to go, and it's not the most pleasant way for you to spend your day, you're going, you're on your way there. And we're not talking about the day that already happened. We're talking about a day in the future. You're on your way there, and you have that thought, I really don't want to go. And then you stop and ask yourself, but really here, in this decision, what is my path of least resistance? That would it feel better not to go or to go? And so you say, well, I don't think I'm going to go. I'm going to go do something else. And that just feels uncomfortable to you. And then you think, well, he is really looking forward to seeing me. And so as you think about which is the path of least resistance, you say, it is easier for me to go than not to go. So you go. In other words, you don't have to think the whole thing out. Just right here, between those two choices, that was a path of least resistance. So then you're walking in, and it doesn't feel very good. And you sort of get that heavy feeling washing over you, and you wish that you could be somewhere else. And then you think, now what's my path of least resistance? To stay all day or to stay a short period of time? Well, I'll pop in. I'll see what he's doing. If he's sleeping, I'll leave and come back. If he's awake, then I'll stay and visit. But this is a temporary visit. I'm not going to spend the whole day here. So now you've found another path of least resistance. You get a sense of what we're talking about? So you're there with him, and he's complaining about something. And you think, let's see, where's my path of least resistance? So you try to guide him into some more positive thought, and you can't. He doesn't go there. And then you try to listen to the thought that he's offering, which doesn't feel good. And then you think, what's my path of least resistance? Should I just listen to what he's saying, or should I try to guide him? And if he's really on a rant, it might be easier to just relax and let him vent. In other words, you don't have to turn everything around. All you need to do is give yourself a path of least resistance. Now, we are going to put this in very dramatic terms because it feels like this for you. It doesn't feel like this to us about you, but it feels like this to you about what you're living. And so look at it this way. Pretend that you are trapped in a mine, temporary, and there's enough oxygen for you to be there for a little while. And you're breathing it, knowing that it's not going to last very long and that help is on the way, but you don't know how soon the help is going to get there. Well, your thoughts now are not about who's tunneling and where they are. Your thought is about where you're going to get your next breath of air. And so you're sort of breaking into another room. You're reaching with your own resources for something that just gives you a little more breathing space. So you hack into another room where you have another few hours of breathing space. And you're still not thinking so much about who's coming to rescue you as you are looking for your path of least resistance, so to speak. And so this is the same sort of thing. You're reaching because you can't, as you are trapped in that mine, or as you are standing in this place where you really don't want to be, which feels out of control to you, you can't snap your fingers and make the heart be there. You can't bring the perfect surgeon. You can't change the vibration of your husband. There are all those things that are out of your control. And as you even attempt thoughts about them, you're just going to be overwhelmed and buried in it because it's too much that doesn't have anything to do with you. All you're reaching for is your path right now, wherever the moment is that you're standing, of least resistance. So now let's say that you've made it all the way in there. You're sitting at his bedside and you're listening to him visiting. Now, your work is not to fix him. And that's a hard thing to remember. Your work is to continue to find your path of least resistance. And if you have been practicing at moments when you are not in the hospital with him about things that you might talk to him about, things that you might reminisce about, things that you might anticipate about, what we've noticed is that when any of you can direct your mind to anything, sometimes Esther, when she finds herself worrying about her mother, will work on a computer program in her mind while she drives because she knows that her mind wants to be active about something. And when she has already activated, her sister will call, so that will be in her mind. As that is active in her mind and she cannot find a way around it, she will specifically choose something else that is contemplative in nature and give it her attention until she feels the relief of finding something that is non-resistant. You're not going to be able to focus on your husband and find that relief, not where he is right now. Don't ask the impossible and don't feel guilty about thinking other thoughts. It's sort of like hacking into the next room and just getting a little more oxygen for yourself while you're waiting for the next thing that law of attraction will put into place, you see. So, now you've made it all the way in there. And you're sitting, and your path of least resistance is for now, not forever, for now, to sit and visit for a little while. Not even to spend the entire day. Just for now, this is the path of least resistance. And so you begin visiting about some fun vacation that you've taken in the past. And you can feel that your husband is listening. He might even be enjoying the story, and you're feeling comfortable within it. And then he changes the subject to something that is obvious that he's been worried about. Now you have a choice. Do I try to coerce him into bright, happy, fluffy thoughts, which he's not having any of? Or do I just listen to what he's saying? What's the path of least resistance? You see, because sometimes when you think about the science of deliberate creation, you fear that every negative thought that he speaks might be detrimental to his experience. And we're wanting you to understand that you just can't take a thought and call it negative. It's only negative if it causes the sensation of tension within you. And sometimes it would be less stressful for you to just let him ramble than to try to guide his every comment. So he just rambles a little bit. You relax and just hear him. And then you say, now what is my path of least resistance once he has spoken? And you'll get so good at this that you might say to him, as I was listening to you, it felt good for me to realize how much you've been thinking about this. And as he recognizes that ease is starting to happen within you, it will benefit him. Nothing is worse than to try to teach someone about deliberate creation when they are in the most negative moment of their life. In other words, the last thing that he wants to hear is, you're the creator of your reality and look where you are.
Right. And I'm angry that you did that.
What you're really wanting to say to him is, we're all doing the best that we know how to do, and most of us have not been aware of vibration, and we've learned these thoughts from who knows where, and we carry them around and we continue to think them, and it's time for you and I, say to him, to start giving ourselves a break. We just don't have to keep beating up on ourselves about every little thing. There are just some things that aren't our problem. And so let's not try to solve everything. Let's not try to figure out how you got here. Let's not try to figure out how to keep it from ever happening again. Let's not try to figure out how to get a heart here. Let's just find the path of least resistance right here and now. His body is strong enough that if he lies there and relaxes and allows source energy to flow, that he will be able to maintain his current position until that heart arrives. Those are our words to him. Just chill out and relax. He is in a stable enough place. His body is resilient enough. Our desire for you is that you know that you relax, that you be easy about it, that you don't take responsibility for it, that you just keep reaching for your path of least resistance. They show up in the strangest of places. In other words, sometimes just a very funny attendant or nurse gives you just a moment of that path of least resistance. That's all you're looking for. It's sort of like, as Jerry and Esther are driving from Texas here, there are so many routes that they could take and so many off-ramps and on-ramps and fuel stops and sleeping stops and food stops, so many stops along the way. And it would not be possible for them to contemplate them all and orchestrate them all and figure them all out and plan them in advance in order to give themselves absolute assurance that they will be able to drive that big rig every single place they want to go. Instead, they just go forth trusting that they'll be able to figure it out as they go along the way. And they say things to themselves like, we've never been stuck yet, we've never come to a bridge too low yet, and even if we did, we could unhook the car and turn the thing around. In other words, there's nothing that we've gotten ourselves into that we couldn't get ourselves out of with a little bit of resources, you see. And sometimes we notice that the greatest adventures that they have breathe the most life into them. They're driving down the freeway in their new monster bus, coming through Louisiana, and Esther is driving, and all of a sudden the engine loses power. She pulls off to the side of the road and says, "Call the airplane." And then they began imagining what a tow truck that would tow that must look like. And panic gripped them both. Now, they were off the road enough that even though they were very close and big things were moving swiftly by, it was a little unsettling, but they felt safe enough. And so as they just sat there a little bit, Esther said, "Let's see if it will start." And it did. And then they said, "Let's see if we can just get off the road at least." So they drove off the road. And then they said, "Well, let's just see if we can go a little further. There's a truck stop at the next exit." And so they did. And then they called for assistance and found out that the nearest assistance was 137 miles away, and that they would send a tow truck. And so, as the adventure began to unfold, now they're sort of hacking for air in the next room. In other words, now they're not so much thinking about getting to Boca, although they were, as they were thinking about what's next, what's next, what's next. And it was interesting to watch as the decisions began to flow in. There was not a tow truck big enough, and the one that was big enough made them too tall to go under the underpasses. And to tow them, they would have had to spend 2 hours pulling the drive shaft out of the motor coach, which did not appeal to them at all. It sounded like the towing might be more troublesome to the whole thing than not. And then Esther said, "I have an idea. Since it will start, and we don't know how far it would go, why don't we drive to the repair shop and let the tow truck follow us? And that way, if we do break down, at least he can turn on his emergency lights and keep us from being a hazard to someone else." So it is pouring down rain. They get the tow truck driver, very nice man, Daniel. They give him a walkie-talkie so that he can talk with them. And they get on the freeway, set the cruise control on 70. Nighttime, raining. Esther is empowered. She said, "I feel fearless." And what we noticed was there was more adventure, more energy, more adrenaline, more life, more of everything. More of everything pumping through them. Now they have a friend driving with them. Esther is saying, "Hey, Daniel, we go coast to coast twice a year. Want to come? Can I bring my family? Sure. Hey, Daniel, am I in the right lane? Hey, Daniel, traffic seems to be slowed down. What's the best way around it?" They had the best time with Daniel. They really wanted to keep Daniel with them forever. It was a very fun thing. And so they made it to the repair shop. When they got to the repair shop in New Orleans, a very nice man greeted them, even though it was 5 minutes before 7 and 5 minutes before closing, and said, "Would you like us to work on this tonight?" And Esther said, "If that is possible, that would be wonderful." So they hooked them up to the computer and determined that it was the indicator to the oil pump was faulty, telling the engine that this was not pumping, so the engine was shutting down so that it wouldn't destroy itself. And so they replaced the part, discovered that it was not the right part, but because it was early enough, they were able to call and get another part in, and the next morning it was there. Now, 5 new friends Jerry and Esther have met. And Esther said, it's almost as if the adventure as it unfolds gives us more life, not less life.